What's up, everyone? This is the Unrestricted Podcast, because here with us,
anything goes.
And today we got a spicy one for you guys. We're going to do things a little bit different, but definitely stay tuned. Trust me.
Okay, so the topics today pretty much revolve around social media. So, for one, I want to just be the first to bring this up because I swear, your thoughts on social media are so, wild and out there. Pretty much since we've been together, I want to say you've deleted your personal account 12 times. What's your whole thing with social media? Social media in general, and then social media while in a relationship.
Social media in general, I guess. It is true. I have deleted, I don't know if 12 times is the right number.
It has to be.
It might even be more. But I don't know. I just look at social media in general that a lot of people just are kind of putting a fake persona out there. Here's my life. It's all, it's all sunshine and rainbows, and I'm out here doing this, I'm doing that, everything's happy. It almost seems like nobody on social media is ever struggling. And then I guess if you are kind of being real and transparent about your struggles or something, then
if people are the rare 0.5%.
Yeah, but then people are like, oh, shut the fuck up, shut up, that's not what social media is for. It isn't to come on here and cry and complain and seek some kind of help or something, but so that's kind of I guess why it's more frowned upon to just be real on there. It's just come and put on some kind of act. And I don't know, I never getting older, it just gets more irritating to see that kind of stuff, because some people I even know that I'm not to shit on them, but your life isn't that good 100% of the time.
Glamorous.
Yeah, it's not that good 100% of the time, but people put that out there. And nowadays for me, I just think social media in general doesn't really serve a purpose, to me, yeah, I guess you can,
your personal account.
Yeah, for personal reasons, it doesn't really serve a purpose. Yeah, your memories, my memories with you and stuff like that, but then again, my argument is that you don't have to document everything. And
this has been an ongoing fight between us, because I get very offended when you delete your shit, and I'm like, oh, well then I'm not gonna fucking post pictures of us if you're not gonna have an account.
And like I said, to a certain extent I understand it, and that's why I've never straight up just deleted my stuff and let it be fully deleted after the 30 days or whatever. But the same thing, it's yeah, I don't think every memory or every moment in your relationship or life has to be documented.
Yeah.
And then unless obviously you were using it for to promote something like a podcast.
But we're talking just personal accounts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's when it becomes sort of has a point for me. But if that's not what you're doing, if you're just going on there to just let people think your life is perfect, then I just don't agree with social media.
The look at me show.
Yeah, I just I don't know, it's annoying to me, and that's why I don't even keep up with people on there anymore. I just follow things I like, hobbies and stuff, influencers, things like that. And then on the relationship side, I don't know, it creates a ton of problems. I'm sure you guys watching could, at least once in your life, a relationship has been ruined by social media, whether it was you doing something they thought was wrong, or you just I don't know, maybe not posting them, maybe not, making stories with them, and, you're not making your social media strictly about your relationship. And to a lot of people, that's a big deal. It's why aren't you doing this? Why haven't you done this in a while? Or you used to always do this. And to everything, I do try to understand, but then I also say well, if you just eliminated social media, or the want or need for social media to be so prevalent in your relationship, then you'd probably have less problems. You wouldn't be out here, You know, you could have the most loyal partner ever, and as long as social media is out there, if you're a person that, you know, is jealous or whatever, you're always going to be thinking like, oh, you know, if my other person has an Instagram, a Snapchat, a Facebook, there's always the possibility of someone reaching out to them, a girl, a guy, like who's hitting on you, what are you doing, like are you scrolling, what are you seeing, what are you stopping on, what are you liking? And it's like that person could not be doing any of that, but it's still always going to be a thought because social media is, you know, has a presence in the relationship. And, you know, I guess like, yeah, it's frustrating. And a lot of times, you know, people do get caught doing things on there. So that's why the stigma's there. It's like anything, the stigma or, you know, the idea surrounds something because it's been proven to be true, you know, not 100% of the time, probably not even 50% of the time, but some sort of percentage has been proved to be true. So it's always going to be a thing. But I just think if you eliminate the need for social media to be so important in your just general life, but in your relationship, or just find like a purpose for it. I don't know, like find a workaround that it just makes more sense to have it in your relationship. But for me, I just think you cut it out, like so much relationships would last. I'm sure there's been great relationships that have been just, you know, just turned to shit. Like, you know, like so many bridges and so much trust has been burned and all this shit. Like just because you have social media, you could not be doing anything wrong, but it's just the presence of it. I think just take it out or just try it. Like maybe like a trial, just delete the apps, you know, like delete the apps and for 30 days or something, like a month, and just see like the effect that it has on your relationship. And I guarantee it's going to be a positive one. There's no part of me that thinks taking it out for a trial period is going to, you know, create any negative vibes in your relationship. 100% of me thinks that. You know, I don't know what you think.
Well, I mean, I feel like you do know what I think because, like, this has been, like I said, this has been like an ongoing thing. Like, you know, when we first got together, whatever, like, I feel like you were pretty much like always posting or like sharing things like photos of us or whatever and this and that. And like I feel like at first, you know, like before we kind of made like the relationship official, like you wanted to post and you wanted me to post, but I'm like, I'm not doing that until like I'm not gonna post you until you're my boyfriend. Like that's just my thing, you know. And so it's like, well, you weren't my boyfriend at the time, so I'm like, I'm not gonna post a picture of you. But it's like for me, like you were always like posting about me and like sharing things, you know, and like I can only speak for myself, but like that makes me feel good. I'm sure there's like other women out there or even men, you know, that feel the same way. Like it just makes you feel good, feel special, like when your partner posts you. And I'm not saying all the time, like Lord Child, like, no, you do not have to post me every freaking day, like this, that, whatever, pictures, like hell no, that there's too much. There is such thing as too much, you know, and it's like, fuck no, like, but it is nice. It does feel good to like have your partner post about you and just kind of like, it makes, what's like, I'm trying to think of like the best way to put it, but essentially it just makes them feel special. You know what I mean? And I know like within our time together, you know, you've gone, well, I mean, we've had like little arguments and stuff about specific things, which we'll get into like a little bit after this topic, you know what I mean? But it's like, you know, when you delete your Instagram, like I felt betrayed, I guess, in a way. It might seem silly to some, it might seem silly to men, but like I feel like as a woman, like you are like throwing away like memories that we've created, you know, like you're just kind of like throwing it off the shelf, like, oh, it doesn't really matter, like I don't care, you know, like whatever. And I'm just like, well, and me being like a fucking brat, I guess, I'm just like, I'm not gonna post a picture of you then if you're gonna like fucking delete your whole shit, you know, like.
But see that, like that's where I see that.
I mean, but I wouldn't do that. No, but I would just be like.
I know that you wouldn't, but it's like, it's such like a it's such an automatic thing to go to, you know, like I'm sure everyone has their like automatic thing that they go to, you know, I'm not going to post anymore, or, you know, fine, like,
Like
no,
be petty,
no,
be spiteful.
yeah,
Or
nobody's
whatever.
going to know that, you know, I have a boyfriend, you know, like,
Or
I'm
like
sure,
just delete all your shit too.
yeah,
Like,
you know what I mean? Like, but see, like, that's the negative energy that it
yeah.
brings around. Like, one person can make a decision solely based on their beliefs, and like, there's not gonna be no discussion. There's not. It's just gonna go straight to like, all right, fine. Then you don't care about our memories. Like, nothing's ever. Like, you're not gonna have any of that stuff that you ever posted of us. Like, whatever. And then, you know, maybe you go to a crazy extent, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the negative energy that you can get out of your relationship if you just at least take a break from social media.
But I feel like you create the negative energy by deleting it. Because you wouldn't even tell me. I would just like find out. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, did you delete your account? And you'd be like, oh yeah, like, you know, today or a couple days ago or something. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you don't even say anything, you know? So I'm just like, and it happens when I'm like trying to send you something that I find, you know, it's funny. And I'm like, oh shit, let me just send it to you because we're already on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then it's like user not found or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck did this guy do? Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in the sense of like, if you are gonna do that, like, yeah, it's really important to communicate it to the other person. I don't think it's gonna make a diff like.
well, I mean, but we've had those discussions where I've just been like, fine, fuck it. Like,
Yeah, like,
delete it then.
yeah, but at the end of the day, like, I know that it does have some sort of effect, you know, and not just on you, you know. Sometimes I'm doing that like just acting off emotion, and then whenever I don't have my Instagram for a couple days or whatever, or I'm like, oh, I want to post something because maybe we went somewhere and took a picture, like, it's your natural reaction, like, oh, we took a picture, I want to post it, and then you realize like, oh, you know, like, I deleted my stuff, like, now I want to go get it again because I want to post a picture. So that's why I think like at least just taking a break would be the best, like, happy medium part, you know, like the best compromise. Like, okay, like, we'll take a break. If we go somewhere, we take a picture, like, cool, like, I'll get back on there, I'll post a picture, and then, you know, maybe I'll you know, go black again, and, you know, next time we go out, or maybe after a couple weeks, I'll get back on there and then, you know, see how it is. But I think it's worth the try. But like I said, I just think there's just so much negativity that comes to social media, and it doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter how solid your relationship is. I mean, how many marriages have been probably fucking just ripped to shreds by social media? And this is like marriages.
But I feel like that, I don't really think like social media should be to blame, because at the end of the day, like, you are your own person. Like, you are making your own choices. And if you choose to like step outside your relationship or whatever, or pursue something online with like another person while you know like you're in a relationship, a committed monogamous relationship, and you're making that conscious choice to go and do that. Like, Instagram didn't fucking do that. Like, they didn't say like, hey, come slide in this girl's DM or this guy's DM. Like, that was you. Like, you are a grown-ass person. You are capable of making your own choices, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if things go wrong and they go that way legitimately, like you really did something wrong or you did something to provoke your partner, then, you know, obviously, like, there's some, you know, deeper rooted like issues, you know, that come from that mistake. But I'm just saying, in relationships period, just having it, I think at least for one person in that relationship, probably all the time, that one person's gonna have that thought in their head, like, you know, what are, like, when they're scrolling, like, what are they seeing? Because I mean, on so many social media apps nowadays, I mean, there's so much, like, there's people that are suggested reels, you know, you have TikTok where you have no real control over what you see, you know, like, yeah, things are kind of going to be formed to what you like and stuff like that, but there's always going to be those things that probably slip through, and whether you stop on them or not, you know, I don't know, that's on you. But I'm just saying that that's always going to be a thought, because social media is so randomized these days. So, you know, even if you're sliding through and you like, boom, you don't even stop, you know, but you've seen something, like, that's always going to be a thought. in the other person's
Yeah.
head, like, man, like what if they did see a chick, in her bikini or at the gym, or what if she's seen some dude with the shirt off, or it's always going to be a thought, like, did she stop, did she not, like, well, like, did she go to his page, did he go to her page, like.
But I feel like that's where communication comes into play. Like, if you, like, we've been in our relationship for a little while now, and it's like, I feel like we have set our boundaries. Like, what bothers me, what I don't like, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And it's like, I would say in the beginning, it was a little bit hard because, we're both very stubborn people. Like, we're very set in our ways, and like, we don't really like to budge,
Yeah.
And so I just feel like, I don't know, like, maybe we struggled in the beginning with communicating, certain things that we wanted from each other. And, I don't think we ever truly talked about social media. And, just like, I don't know, it's like, I feel like social media is definitely not important. It's just something that like we all have, like I enjoy having my social media platforms, I stay connected with friends, family, whatever,
Yeah.
or just like connected to whatever random shit is out there these days. Like that's funny, so it's like, I enjoy having my accounts. Like I don't plan to ever delete them. The only thing I ever did was I deleted Facebook like freaking years ago over some shit, and
Yeah.
it lasted like a week or something. But
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If you guys are having issues in your relationship and social media is, the common factor, I say at least just, try to take a break, or, mainly, I guess, if you guys are having issues, it's probably stems from just like us, that we never really communicated it from the beginning. But it's never too late to just have that talk and say, hey, I feel this way about social media because you did this, or I noticed you liked this, and I know I didn't speak on that, but now I'm speaking on it. So like, just know, moving on, like, that's the stuff that irritates me. If you don't do that, like, I'm never going to have an issue. I'm never going to be on your back. I'm never going to be, jumping down your throat about, some stuff that you may have done or didn't do. I don't know. But yeah, maybe just communicate if you do have an issue. But if you've had issues and you guys already have talked about it and it's still an issue, then I would say definitely like try to take a break, or just address a more, productive way to use social media, and not make it about, you guys and your life and your, happy, sad, whatever moments. Like, make it about you guys solely, that way that you're not just on there like freely, surfing Instagram or Facebook or whatever, like you would, when you're single. Because some people get stuck in those mentalities, maybe.
I know I had a big ass problem with like your social media habits, like before, obviously before, when you were single, like you were liking shit, you were commenting on shit, and whether you guys like to believe it or not, we females are detectives, and we will fucking find the shit out, whether you're upfront or not, like we're gonna find it the fuck out. And I know like I would get pissed off all the time, like seeing stuff that you liked or commented on, like before we were even a thing. Like, it sounds so ridiculous now, that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
But like, that's where it was, because I'm just like, how fucking dare he,
Yeah. And I mean, that's obviously like difficult for anybody,
It's like that transition is tough though, because like, I understand that too, like transitioning, like before I got with you, I was single for some time, and you were also single before you met me too. But it's like, it's hard to transition from like the single mindset to I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, I don't care, I'm talking whoever I want. And then like you're coming together, trying to form a partnership, and it's like everything's so brand new, and you're like, okay, well, I don't like this, you shouldn't be doing this. And it's like, I feel like that's pretty difficult to do in the beginning stages of the relationship, because like I feel like you need to ease into it, and I know like we butted heads a lot in the beginning, because I was just like, you are not gonna fucking tell me what to do, like,
Yeah.
And that was just me being an asshole, and not being respectful of like your thoughts or your feelings, you know what I mean? And so I just feel like, I mean, I feel like we're way more chill now. Like,
Yeah.
we have gone at each other's throats, like, over
Yeah.
the dumbest shit, to be honest. But it's like,
Yeah.
eventually we've hashed it out, you know? Like, I feel like we've grown from those issues.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and we, like I said, like I recommended to people watching, you know, we kind of reevaluated, you know, what and how we use social media. You know, we use it for things like this and any other, you know, like personal stuff that we do, you know, on the side. Like, we've, you know, made that a point to just use social media for that. And then, you know, if we don't have anything to really post that has to do with us, you know, a lot of times, like, you know, how long will we go, you know, not even like really going on an app anymore?
Yeah.
You know, like, if we don't have anything really interesting to post or to look at or go on there for, I mean,
Yeah.
we've gotten a lot better at just like not just pointlessly going on
That's
there.
true.
You
There,
know, and
I'll probably have like, I mean, I posted like recent, you know, in the last like week or so, but there'll be times where I'm like, shit, like the last time I posted was like fucking 3 months ago or something, you know? Like, I just kind of like space out about it, and
yeah,
it's not really like that huge of a concern. Like, I don't get as upset that like, oh, you didn't post a story about me, or like you didn't put a post about me, because I'm just like, okay, you're gonna go on each other's page, like anybody, they're gonna see right away, like, okay, these people are obviously in a relationship with each other. So it's like not so much of like a huge concern to me anymore, because I'm like, I've kind of just gotten over my bullshit,
yeah.
you know? Like,
And then, yeah, I mean, once you spend so much time with someone, I mean,
I'm like, this
you-
fool ain't going nowhere.
that, well, yeah, that, and, you know, like,
I'm just kidding.
you start to really, and it's just like common sense, you know? You kind of hear it all the time, because it's kind of like, if someone gets questioned, they're like, a lot of the responses are like, well, like, I'm at work and then I'm at home with you. You know,
Yeah.
like, but-
and then we go to the gym together.
Yeah,
we go
like,
to grocery store together. Like,
and where,
who
like,
am I talking to?
Yeah,
Who am I
and,
looking at?
and what kind of, like, in what world would I have time to, like, go and do something? And, like, yeah, I know it doesn't take hours or days to do something like that and get away with it, but still, I mean, if you're that, like, devoted to each other and you do that many things together, like, I mean, obviously, like, come on, I don't have the time to
Yeah.
entertain, you know, crazy shit like that. But that's also something that, like, sometimes you just have to, like, teach yourself. The other person can constantly tell you that, but you have to tell yourself, like, yeah, I mean, they're right, you know, like, they don't have the time, nor are they really interested in going out and doing shit like that. And, you know, another thing that stems from, you know, social media inside relationships, to be specific, is, you know, liking, you know, girls, guys, pics, posts. You know, now there's so much, you know, stories that you can like and all this other shit, but, you know, just mainly relating to, you know, pictures, liking a girl or a guy's picture, you know. And obviously for you, you know, as you know, you'll speak on, but that's one of your main things, that if I do that, that's obviously like a no-go for you.
well, I feel like it's a little bit more complex than that, because like, let's say, you know, like, you have your friends that are girls or whatever, and like, they posted a picture, they look cute, and like, you like it out of support, you know, like, that's your friend, like, you've known them for a long time. But if this same friend is like posted up with her ass hanging out, or like in a bikini and shit, and it's just like, not like you're in a bathing suit, you're with like a group of friends and like, or with family or whatever, not like a group photo, but it's just like her being like sexy and cute.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, do not like that shit, sir, because that's not okay. Because I feel like it's one thing when you're scrolling, like, okay, whatever, so and so posts this picture, fine, but like, if you stop to like the picture, like, you're not just liking it and moving on. Like, your ass is, you stopped on that photo.
Yeah.
You're fucking looking at that shit. You know what I mean? Because, like, I mean, I do that. Like, I'm in a relationship with you, but, like, I do, like, find the female body to be beautiful, you know? So, like, if one of my friends are, like, posting picture in bikini and
That's
stuff.
why it's not fair. It's not fair for us guys. I mean, you know, obviously, like,
You can go, like, your guy friend in a bathing suit
Well,
if that's how you feel.
no, I'm just saying, like, you know, obviously, it's not the smartest thing.
I mean, yeah, it's a double standard, obviously,
Yeah,
but it's like
it's not the smartest thing.
women and men look at bodies differently. Like, you guys look at a woman's body for like sex. You know what I mean? Like, we look at a woman's body like in a nurturing type of way, or just like, wow, like she worked hard at the gym, or she has a beautiful body, or just whatever, like she's a mama, you know, like whatever it may be, you know, like we just view a woman's body different than a man does. And so I'm just like, if you, I don't know, I just feel like everything is sexualized from a man's viewpoint.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not majority, but it's not everyone, but it's like a lot of you guys, you know, like when you were single, like, and you were going through commenting on a fucking girl with her little ass hanging out and fucking whatever stupid shit you would say. Oh my God, it would be so bad.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, and then I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's really hard for a guy to feel that way or to relate, because I mean, yeah, there's guys that, you know, like whatever, they're fit or they think they're fit or whatever, or maybe they're just that type of person that always like has to have their shirt off, or, you know, whatever, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's really like few and far, you know, in between, like that guys are really like, it's not a big number of guys that are just normal guys that are going to be posting stuff like that. So
yeah,
I feel like for a guy, it's a lot less of a worry. You're not like, you know, like how many guys could like my girl possibly come across that are posting stuff like that? I mean, if they're, you know, if they're like sponsored pages or whatever, like whatever, you know, you can't really.
It's typically just like the bodybuilding pages, like, or workout pages that you see something like that.
Like you can't get away with that, with, you know, not seeing that kind of shit. That is what it is. But there's not a lot of guys out there, just normal guys that your girl's gonna be following that post pictures like that. So I feel like it's less of a worry for a guy. Like, I'm not ever like worried about it. Obviously, if we get into like a heated discussion or an argument about the topic, then obviously, like I'm gonna like fire back, like, oh, well, do you know, are you following any guys like that? Are you liking any guys' pictures, like stuff like that?
And to me, like, I am honestly like turned off by that. Like, I do not like male strippers. I don't like when men.
She doesn't like nipples.
I fucking hate nipples. Like, I just have a weird thing about nipples. Like, it's a whole fucking story of why. I mean, I'm not a fan. Like, I fucking hate nipples. Like, they're weird as shit. And I'm just like, okay, so shirtless men, I'm like, whether it's like different if you're at a pool or beach or what have you, you know, like obviously the attire is that. Yeah. But if you're just like a fucking guy walking around naked, like I used to have a next door neighbor, like this was before you moved in, but there used to be a couple next door that this fool would just walk his dog fucking shirtless. And I'm like, dude, like, but why? You're literally walking your dog outside. Like, you're fucking married.
Yeah.
So why, like, do you want everyone to look at you? Like, yeah, I see you, you're fit, but like, I don't fucking care. Like, I just, like, I don't know.
I've always told you that you're like a kind of like a rarity when it comes to those things, because
I don't like nipples.
No, like, not even, well, I mean, yeah, that's a weird thing. Like, I mean, well, I don't know, maybe not weird. Maybe like people will like say, oh, that's like a common thing. Like, I don't like nipples either, but I feel.
If y'all don't like nipples, please let me know, because I feel alone in this.
Yeah, but I feel like people are out there doing that kind of stuff, or guys are out there like walking, you know, taking out the trash with their shirt off or whatever. But I mean, like I always refer to you as rare, because there's a lot of girls that would be like, you know, all over that, you know, like they'd be going out of their way to like find some trash too, you know.
You don't gotta worry about me.
Yeah, like they gotta empty, like they gotta empty.
You're like, oh, that dude over there's got nipples. Like, I don't gotta worry about my girl.
Like, they got an empty ass trash can and they're fucking taking out a bag to go see this dude.
I'm like,
with
come
his
on,
shirt
Jasmine,
off.
We gotta go outside.
Yeah, you know, like that's why you're a rarity. I feel like a lot of people, you know, watching this are gonna be like, well, I mean, shit. Like, if he was fit or he would look good, like, I mean, and I'm like
and
single,
I just don't care.
Like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna, you know, scope out on this guy or whatever.
It just makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like, if I'm passing by somebody too, like on the street, or like if I'm driving and you're like running or walking and you're shirtless, like
running
I'm just like,
shirtless
I'm not even looking at you. Like, I'm literally looking straight ahead, because it just makes me cringe.
Yeah,
like,
running shirtless is something I can definitely like agree on. Like, I I don't see the point. Like I don't care if you're the most fit person, if you know, if you're watching, you know, David Goggins or something, and that's like, that's what motivates you. Like I don't care. Like that's, to me, that's the most pointless thing ever. And you rarely see like the most fit people doing it. You see people that, you know, are obviously like, they want to make a change. So you can't hate on them for the way they look. They're out there trying, but at the same time, it's like that's not like, what's the point? You know, like you're gonna get less people that think positive things about you out there trying to fucking change your life and shit. Then you know, like you're gonna get a bunch of people talking shit about you, and I mean, just be nice to the public. In my
Oh my god, you're like so mean right now.
no, like I'm just like
Like the poor guys out there trying to get fucking fit, and you're just like,
no, because I'm just
Take
like
a shirt.
nobody, you know, nobody would want to see me outside running with my shirt off. Probably at any point in my, I've never looked good enough to be outside with my shirt
oh
off,
my
like
god.
running at least, you know.
So
like-
okay, now would you say that then because like it makes you jealous that you can't go out shirtless?
No, I'm just like because I see flat out no point in doing it. I'll never do it. That's why I said, even if you're super fit or I was super fit, and like, you know, and I could like go out there and run for miles and miles and miles every day, like I would prefer to just do it. Like honestly, like, well, you know me in the gym, like
Oversized tees.
Yeah, I wear oversized tees. Like, yeah, sometimes like if it's leg day, I'll wear, you know, some like shorter shorts or something, or, you know, like Gymshark stuff. But I'm never like, you'll never see me like wearing a tank top.
A slinger.
Okay.
Oh god, the ultimate cringe.
And like and for people that have, I mean, I have wore them before, but people that have seen me, just like, you know,
No.
just shut up, you know.
Don't ever wear a slinger in front of me. I will break up with you.
You know, that was obviously like, you know, whatever. I was on a different wavelength at that time.
I love how we were talking about liking guys or girls' pictures on social media to fucking
Yeah.
running shirtless
Well,
and
yeah.
wearing slingers. Like what? We just completely went off
Yeah,
topic
it's
here.
crazy. Like, okay, I don't even want to like backtrack. I feel like we, you know, went. That was like a good sidetrack conversation. You know, whatever. Like, you know, some insight to what we'd like or don't like, or
But
what.
this is now you kind of have insight on like how our minds work. Like we have to
Yeah.
put our topics listed on what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But then we fucking go off on tangents. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like
And you have to realize that in some instances we're both, our mind, like the way we think is different and stuff like that. So don't think it's gonna apply to everyone. You know, some people, like I said, some people like what they like and stuff like that, and so your relationship with someone else, like you know, the way you communicate with them is probably gonna be different. You know, so the things that you're
Yeah.
gonna have to be worried about are gonna be different.
Yeah, and it's
So-
like by no means are we knocking on like do your thing. Like we don't knock on you. This is just personal, like
Yeah.
our personal thoughts and opinions. It's how we feel. So, and we're just sharing it with you.
Yeah.
So, if any of it offends anyone, we do apologize. We're not here to offend, but we're here to be real.
We're here to, I mean, like most of all, that's why we, you know, our slogan is our slogan, because, you know, we want to come out, we want to be fully transparent.
Yeah,
You know,
like these are our daily conversations with each other all the time.
Yeah.
So
Now after watching this, you guys know certain, you know, aspects of life that we like or don't like, and that's interesting. And hopefully you guys like let us know things, and that we'll find that just as interesting. We're not going to judge you guys and be like, man, that person thinks completely different than I do. Like, you know, I can't even relate, or I'm not even going to comment
But that's
back.
what makes
like,
things like so much better. Like I love like being around like different cultures, different mindsets, like just you know that I feel like that's how you grow, that's how you learn, like that's how you become educated, because if you just like shut yourself off to like the same person, the same people, this, you know, same mindsets, whatever, like you become so ignorant, you know, like
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, something to think about for sure when it comes to, you know, social media and liking pictures and all that kind of stuff, just to get back on the few things that we've talked about already, you know. But I guess, you know, like there's social media friends and then there's real life friends. So speaking that you're still in a relationship, you know, or maybe not, maybe it's just your general thought or, you know, your opinion on it. If, you know, a guy can have friends that are girls, or your girl can have friends that are guys. Like, do you think that's possible? Is it possible for me to have one or more friends that are girls, and like, you know, I randomly just, hey, I'm gonna go, you know, kick it with Christy or something, you know, like, I don't know, I'm gonna go to the mall with Christy. Like, is that like how, like, you know, and like, not even to sugarcoat your response, like, first thing that comes to your head, I say that, what are you thinking?
I think it definitely depends, because like, if this is a friend that you've known for a very long time, you know, this is someone that I also know because you've introduced us, like, we've hung around, you know, I feel like I'm cool with that. Like, I feel like we, you know, we definitely have wavering viewpoints on this, because like, I do feel that, you know, girls can have guy friends, vice versa. But I mean, it's definitely like, to an extent, like, if you and I are already in a relationship, and then you're just like, oh yeah, me and Rebecca, and I'm like, who the fuck is Rebecca? And you're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like, we met, you know, fucking Saturday at the thing. I'm gonna be like, slow your damn roll. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know who this person is. No, you're fucking not going to hang out with Rebecca. Like,
Yeah.
no. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it definitely depends. Like, you know, if it's someone that's like, this is your true friend, like, it's someone that you know, it's someone you trust, it's someone that, you know, you've brought me around, like, hell yeah, like, go out with Christy then, you know,
Yeah.
like, have a good time. Like, maybe we can meet up later for drinks or lunch or whatever, you know. But then it's like, okay, on the other foot, it's like, well, what if I want to go hang out with fucking Maddie or something? Like, yo, me and Maddie are gonna go like to Dave and Buster's or something, you know?
Is Maddie a guy?
Matty? Let's change the name. Let's not do Matt.
Is
Matthew.
I was like, oh, well, I mean, that's fine. That's a chick.
Not
you know?
Maddie.
But yeah, we definitely.
Well, let's say Matthew. Matthew and I are gonna go to Dave and Buster's. How do you feel?
I mean, this is the way I look at it. I've gotten better in this, because before I would just, my instant response would have been,
fuck no.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care. Like, social media friends, old time friends, like,
You're like,
no.
you cannot have guy friends.
So yeah, so I've gotten better in the aspect of like, you can tell me, oh, this is my friend so and so from, you know, 6 years ago, or from my time in the service, and I can accept that now. Like, okay, cool. Like, the chances that, you know, like, this person, like, I ever even meet this person is like slim to none. But I mean, I haven't really been put in the spot where it's like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with so and so. Like, oh, you remember you met him at the gym, or you met him when we went to that thing that one time. I still haven't got around to being like that accepting of like my girl having guy friends, because
Let me can I like throw a little example at you? This is something that happened years ago, but like, a friend of mine that I was in the military with, you know, this was back in like San Diego years ago, so like, we hadn't seen each other in several years, right?
Yeah.
I get out of school, they're like, hey, I'm in the area, like, let's meet up, have lunch. And I'm like, hell yeah, like, I haven't seen you in years, like, let's do that. We go, we have lunch, we just kind of catch up, and then that's it. That's the end of the day. We both go home.
Yeah.
Like, if I said, oh, so-and-so's in the area, I haven't seen them in years, like, I'm gonna go have lunch with them, like, I'll be home, you know, like, maybe an hour or so later.
Yeah.
Like, how would you feel about that?
I mean, speaking to me, looking at it from the perspective of like who I am now and how much I've grown, you know, I might have some more like questions, like digging deeper into like who this person is, but I think at the end of the day I'd be more accepting. But I mean, if you're speaking to me like to the person I was like even like a year ago or 2 years ago, like, yeah, I would have probably thrown like the biggest fit ever.
Yeah, you
and,
were a fucking brat.
you know, and I feel like that's the majority of people. The majority of people like are probably never really put in this predicament, you know, because I mean, most people, if they are, you know, it's probably like, well, then go, you know, go be with that dude. Like, I'm done, you know, like, or go be with, like, go hang out with that chick. Like, I don't care who she is. I don't care who he is. Like, and that's, you know, obviously an issue, because, you know, that's, you know, like we spoke about already, like controlling partners and stuff like that. That's that's a trait of people that control
Yeah.
people, is that you can't have any kind of interaction with the opposite sex, no matter, you know, like if you guys have previous ties, like friendships, service,
I
like
feel like that definitely makes things a lot worse because then you're gonna get that person that's like, okay, well, you're trying to control like who I can and can't be friends with, so like I'm gonna go and just do whatever the fuck I want, like
yeah,
I don't
and yeah,
care.
then you get there like the people that want to be rebellious,
Yeah.
because you know, just like it all ties together, literally everything, your kid, your pet, whatever, like, whatever, you know, you try to limit the things that someone can do, and they're gonna go and do more.
Yeah.
They're gonna do more of the things that you just told them don't do.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you have to like really perfect yourself as a person as much as you can, so that you limit all these things. You don't become a controlling person. You don't get in more arguments than needed. You're not always at your partner's neck because, you know, you don't agree upon something. Like, obviously day to day you're working on yourself, your relationships, communication, all this kind of stuff. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that most of you guys would have, you guys are going to watch this and be like, oh my God, like, no way, like, she would be okay if he hung out with this chick at the mall, or no way he would be okay if she got out of class or off of work and was, you know, went out to a late lunch with this guy or something. I know you guys are gonna say no way, and it just doesn't happen, but it takes work, it takes
Yeah.
growing. That's why I said if she had asked me that a year ago, it would be a total different response, and that's only a year ago. So, you know, a year ago till now, that's how much I've grown in my mindset and way of thinking. That, you know, and obviously it's a trust thing. If you don't have no trust in your partner, then obviously no amount of like growth within yourself is like gonna change the way you think. You have to trust the person first, and then go about it the way you go about it. But yeah, I mean, definitely a big thing. I mean, I feel like all these topics were huge, like huge. I feel like this is gonna be our, you know, most relatable episode with you guys, and that's, you know, interesting and fun to think about the kind of feedback that we're going to get from this one. And, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and you guys continue watching, continue, you know, giving your support, liking, you know, subscribing. You guys have been amazing. Like, we didn't even expect, I mean, we expected like we were going to grind and we were going to be passionate about this, but we didn't expect the kind of outpour of
Yeah.
support that we've gotten.
Yeah,
So-
it's been really cool.
It's crazy, and like, and I don't ever want you guys to think that that's what we're in it for, you know, like we're literally like we said, we talked for so long about doing this, and now that we've started, like we're cranking out episodes, we're cranking out like, you know, planning and all this stuff. Like, this is like, we talk so much about this
Yeah.
on the daily basis now.
Yeah.
And like, that's what's fun, and I hope you guys see that it's fun for us, and you guys continue just showing your love and support. But yeah, I mean, implement these things in your relationship.
Or let us know like your thoughts too. Like we want to know your feelings about everything. You know, like
Yeah, I mean, tell me
what are
like,
your opinions?
if you don't, like I said, if you don't believe our answers here or what we discussed or how much we've grown or whatever, like, if you honestly just flat out don't believe it, let us know.
Yeah, if you don't agree, that's cool. Like,
yeah, flat out tell us
we
that,
wanna know all
like,
your
there's
opinions.
no fucking way you think like that, bro, or like, you know, or, you know, girl to girl, like, if you guys have issues with this, you know, bring it up, you know, like, we've already had comments, we've already had interactions with people that we've replied to. It's our goal to reply to everyone, no matter, you know, how crazy the comment is. You know, I mean, we had, just the other day, we had a crazy comment, you know, like, about some stuff. Like, if you guys, you know, go to the video, you'll see our response there. So, trust me, we do, you know, we do give feedback and we do pay attention. But, you know, yeah, that's going to wrap up today's episode. And, you know, this is the Unrestricted Podcast, because here with us,
anything goes.
Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.